responses to the video I put out yesterday. If you guys didn't see it, we did a video yesterday, auto speed bug abusing live on stream versus Sam. If you guys didn't see exactly what happened, he abused the blink bug. The blink bug, as Weekend found out last night live on stream. You can see him. You can see him jump over and miss jump here, and then he blinks. You saw the blink. Okay, he blinks, and then you know, he blinks like maybe 15, 20 seconds later here, and jump, and blink, dead. Okay, and then he does it again here like seconds later. So Weekend found out last night, Hi-Rez is aware, but pretty much blinking into consistent damage, blinking into like persistent damage. So if you blink into Nuwa 1 while it's traveling, for whatever reason, doesn't put blink on cooldown, which means you can just blink again. So that's what happened. I'm going to turn these off for the video because, you know, sub goals and donut goals don't really matter during videos. So that's what I did. I made a video, and the reason I'm making another video is because I wanted to respond to pushback I got on a lot of this. Some people brought up good points. Some people brought up bad points. A lot of bad points. His stream and his mods doubled, tripled down on the idea of this being biased because... for a variety of reasons. So here's the first one, right? Sam abused the Poly 2, cancel Ganesh. You did not make a video about it. I responded, and this is semi-correct, semi-wrong, and I'll explain why. So Sam found the Poly bug at the end of a game. So it's right here. You can see him canceling the 2, autoing canceling the 2. He found this at the end of this game. Literally, this is the moment he found that you could do this. And the Hercules surrendered, right? And then he goes on to the next game, and then the rest of this video is against somebody from a custom. So that's what I referenced when I explained the similarities and you know, like, unlike Autospeed, who has bug abuse for years and ranked on stream, so explain the similarities. He never did. And then somebody went on to say that's not how it worked, though. If you watch the stream back, he found the game and then continued queuing up. So we just pulled up Sam's games, go back to this, and this is the game that he found it at the very end of the game, literally the very end of the game. It does look like he queued the next game into a loss, and then any other games he queued, he didn't even build Poly. So it's possible, I was wrong, right? I don't care about being wrong. It's possible that he tried it this next game and just lost because Ganesh just isn't a good character, and I don't think his aspect was out yet. So he did this in the next game. So you could ask yourself, what is the difference then between this and what I called out? Almost nothing except for context and history, okay? So Sam found a bug at the end of a game he was making for content, right? Found a bug. He did queue up another game and try it again. Is that worthy of condemning? Sure, yeah, like, you know, it's lame. But you can then give him some credit after condemning for going into a you know, another game and doing this by having him opt to go into a custom game to finish out the video, right? And then some people also asked, is it making a video of bug abusing bad? Because then it shows more people how to bug abuse. Not really, because in the same way that Brutal Megalini Time, I did reach out to him on Twitter to get like a justification, but I've actually heard them explain this before. When they do this stuff in games, so like the example of Chiron ulting plus a Kepri ult plus Thorns, it'll make you take the 999 damage, and it would just one-shot people in arena. And you would say, like, that's bug abusing as well, so what's the issue? The issue is that the way you go about it as a content creator matters. The intent on why you're doing it matters, right? The intent from a lot of people is to do it for content and then upload it and like, here's a funny thing that happened in Smite, and then get with Hi-Rez, make sure it doesn't affect real ranked games, make sure it doesn't affect games that matter. And then I think Brutal Megalini Time, if I remember correctly from the past, they would do it, they would surrender the game, they would report it to Hi-Rez, and they wouldn't do it anymore. Or they would do it in customs versus other people or whatever, right? They wouldn't do it in ranked, they wouldn't do it in whatever. And I understand that duel right now is casual, and the duel between Sam and Autospeed yesterday was also casual. The main issue, and why I don't think it's the same, is right here. And I'm going to reference some other pushback as well. He's done it on stream 4 years in ranked. So it's not just about testing bugs and finding bugs and reporting bugs. That's what we all do. And we all find a bug from time to time, right? I'll give you an example. knew why at one point her minions were proccing auto attack items. So they were proccing Kins, they were proccing Braggies. That could be considered a bug. People were using it in ranked, but Hi-Rez even mentioned at one point that like they recognize it as a bug and they're kind of just letting it play out to see what it would be like in the game. And I think that same notion applied to Morgan. I don't think Morgan was supposed to transform into people in the same way, keep their cooldowns of the ult, keep their actives, keep their consumables. There was something about that was bugged as well, but they left it in the game because it was actually just an unintended buff and it kind of made the character better, and they just went with it. So obviously there's a difference between that and Blink having 0 cooldown. There's just a difference, and it's subjective. People can debate it. That's what these videos are for. We can debate whether this bug is bad and this one isn't, and there's also a difference between exploiting a bug and just exploiting a mechanic within the game that is unintended, and I will show you right now. So somebody DM'd me and they said auto speed isn't in the reform arc, right? Auto speed isn't in the reform arc because he's still exploiting bugs, and the example that they gave me was the reason that he is playing Artemis so much in the jungle right now is because he is using Tusky to backdoor objectives, since objectives and the Titan and whatnot do not take damage, or do not do damage to Tusky if there is somebody else in the area that it has not targeted. Meaning, Hi-Rez went through a bunch of nerfs. They made it so the Titan basically kills like the Nagas and other things very quickly now, so you can't really just backdoor as easily anymore. So during his reform arc, somebody reached out and they were like, so, he's still bug abusing. And I'll give you an example why this isn't really a bug to me, but it's just the normal exploiting of things. But it's not a bug. This one I don't condemn all too much. It's just kind of part of the game. And right? So that's an example. This is what autospeed does. He finds exploits like this. That one is not a bug. That one is not exploiting a bug. That one is not for content. So that's the difference. Intent behind why they're doing things is what matters. And that's the difference between people brought up adapting. It was like he did it on stream. And it's like, there is a difference between why people are doing things. Brutal Maglini time, Sam making a video about this bug and then going into customs. Again, could you condemn him because he went into a single other game after that? He played 5 total Ganesh games that day, found it at the end of one game, and proceeded to do it into the next. And then went to customs the rest of the time for his video and didn't do it in the other 2 duels that he queued that day. Sure, you can, but you have to understand the intent is different. Right? And then not only that, like it's a consistent pattern of behavior that's frustrating, right? This Autospeed has been queuing Conquest to AFK in base and play Minecraft, purposely losing and griefing, and then it just shows here him playing Minecraft in a game that's 2 minutes in, just to purposely let his team lose, right? And as content creators, we have a higher standard of play. And then Tranquilize said this is a game where it's 20-something minutes in, and he's 2 items in just because he's saying these guys don't deserve to be carried or something, right? So it's like, and then we'll go to Fago's thing right here, right? Smite streamers when they need content and someone to name drop. It's not wrong. You do get a lot of views from these videos. I think the community is very bored right now. And they're just looking for something, anything, other than just the monotonous, just grinding ranked, right? Because you can only really grind ranked so long and watch people grind ranked so long before you're like, there's no SPL, there's no community, there's no heart of the community right now, like stuff to watch, there's not top plays, there's not This Week in Smite, right? There's not anything to do. So of course people are going to be interested in this. I don't care about the $35 I'm going to make from a video, right? I genuinely could care less. The issue is stuff like this, right? Like, if we just talked about the past, 2 months, right? It's just like, it wasn't just smurfing. It wasn't just the one-time bug abusing where you're blinking against another creator. It's not just, it's everything, man. And that's the frustrating part. I said it yesterday in the video. I don't want to make these videos. I'm sure at some point the mods over there and Autospeed think I don't like him. I don't dislike him. I don't think, as some people say, he's a shitty person. Somebody said it in chat earlier, like when they were debating about it, right? he's a shitty person. I don't think he's a shitty person. I just think he just lacks accountability, lacks self, like he just lacks the willingness to accept accountability for what he does. In every moment, it's like every couple seconds he's bug abusing, exploiting stuff, stomping new players on Smurf with another player, right? And then when people are like, "This is lame," he just doubles down and it's just like, "Well, other people do it." And people even came in my chat with the sentiment of, and in these comments as well, like this isn't Autospeed's fault. This is Hi-Res's fault. There's going to be bugs in this game, especially when you're expecting as many updates to come through as we're getting. Like, it doesn't matter how many QA you hire. I'm not kidding. It doesn't matter how many QA you hire. If you want to put new content out in Smite on a schedule that they're producing, there are going to be bugs. And there is a responsibility for us to find bugs. There's a responsibility for us to report them. And you can make content with it in a way that isn't at the detriment of everyone else you're playing with, right? I gave the example of Brutal Maglini time, like, right? Like they F6 the game, they report it, or they go to a custom whatever to complete it for a video. They put the video up, and no, I don't think that's negative because it showed how the bug worked because they've reported it, and then by the time it gets around to it, so Sam put that Poly video out with Ganesh, I bet it's already going to get hot fixed in one of these patches. It might already be fixed, right? The same, the blink bug, it's already recognized it's probably getting fixed next patch, right? So it's not going to be something that people can just abuse or should abuse. But the whole idea that, like, there's no accountability for the people that are doing it because it's a system that allows it to exist is such a stupid argument, right? That's like saying if, like, laws didn't exist in America because we're in, like, a post-apocalyptic world. Well, it doesn't really matter what people do to each other because, you know, it's up to the government or the people in charge to make sure that there are rules to prevent us from just not doing the right thing. And it's just a bad argument. Like, all these arguments, even the argument that one of his mods said, right, where it's just intentionally bug abusing, then bitches when Autospeed does it, and then is like, Sam can talk to me. Just doubling down on the behavior, right? Instead of just for once getting people to accept accountability, to be better. And you can see right here, this is the thing, right? He finds it right here at the end of this game where you can see it just never goes on cooldown, right? You can see it just never goes on cooldown. And then he proceeds for the rest of the 1 hour video to go into customs. And there was one game he queued in between that against Abare, which he lost. And then 2 other games where he just didn't even build poly. There were 2 other games that he queued after this. I don't know if it was before or after the customs, but one game where he did have it and lost, and then the next games where he didn't even build poly. So to continue the video and content that he was making, he left to go into customs. Can I say, yeah, he clearly did go into a queue after and try it again, and that's like the same thing should be lame? Sure, yeah. Yes. Yeah, I agree. It is lame. But he recognized it. Probably realized it was lame because if he didn't, there would have been no reason to go into customs. He could have just kept doing it all day in the queues, right? So he recognized it, and then he made the decision to go to customs, which would be the correct decision. I can say, it's kind of lame that he went into the next game. Yes, sure, yes, I would agree with that, right? And the issue is that people don't recognize their biases when it comes to this, right? I am biased. I like Sam. We're friends, right? It doesn't change the fact that there was recognition that, like, probably shouldn't be doing this in the queues, and recognition that I should probably go to customs. And he did, right? So it'd be like, great. If Autospeed bug abused and then accepted accountability and was like, that was kind of lame, and then did anything else, I literally would have never even made a video. I wouldn't have cared. But the fact that he just doubles down, the mods just, like, BM people who call him out, ban them, and then consistently make fun of them, and then just do other people, but when I do it, it's bad. It doesn't matter what other people do, man, right? It doesn't matter what other people do. Like, I think all anyone just wants is some accountability at all, right? If you bring us all the way back to bug abusing with Arachne, bug abusing with Set, getting accountability for it, like, it's just like there's never a point where anyone just sits there and is like, yeah, you know what? This was kind of lame. I shouldn't do that, right? Whereas, again, using Sam as an example, he was in the queues and then was like, I should probably go to customs, and then made that choice, right? And then Brutal Maglini time, when they do stuff, they're like, this is probably really frustrating for those people that are playing against us, right? And they either go to a custom or they F6 and let them win and then report it and then make sure it's out of the game. There's a way to go about it, and there's a way to not. And I thought it was a good idea to respond to some of these criticisms, but it's not just about one thing, right? It wasn't just about smurfing. And I'm not just sitting here jumping on the hate train of, oh, I want views. It doesn't really matter to me. I don't care about the $30 I'm going to get from the video or whatever. I don't care. You can have the $30. I'll donate the $30 to a stream. I don't care, right? My issue is I just want him to be better so he's not disliked. And he might not even care. His mods might not even care, is what it is. I just like peer-to-peer accountability. If I did something that was shitty in the Smite community, I would want the other creators to be like, Chris, that was shitty. And I guarantee you when it happens, I will be like, you know what? I agree with you on this aspect. I don't disagree with, or I don't agree with you on this aspect, but like fair, right? Fair accountability here. Just like I'm doing right now. They said, oh yeah, you didn't make a video about Sam. I'm doing it right now. Sam went into that next game and he tried to use it in a game in another game instead of going to casuals. Like, yeah, that's lame, right? But I respect the fact that he recognized it and went to customs after. Right? That's all I can ask from somebody that is doing something that's like, no, yeah, I can see why somebody would make that comparison. But the difference is one person recognized it and made a change, the other person didn't and just doubled down on it, right? Double down, deflect, other people do it, poor me, blah blah blah, and then the mods just same thing. I just want it handled better, man. I don't want people making these videos about anyone in the Smite community, because if Autospeed flourishes and brings people to the Smite community, that's better for everybody. Let's just say he does, right? I've given him the benefit of the doubt with all of the view botting allegations over the years and all the shit talking for Autospeed. If anybody's been an active member of my stream, I've played devil's advocate a bit to where, like, I've tried to stick up for him a bit. I'm not doing this as, like as Fago said, for some views on a video. I'm doing this, and it specifically ends up being about Autospeed because he's just always the person doing something, right? Just like this, right? Sitting in base playing Minecraft while being one of the most watched streamers, and then you can debate about if they're real viewers or not. I don't know, right? I'll never know, so I won't make comments on it. But when somebody that's at the top of the category is actively throwing a game, watching Minecraft, and then bug abusing against another streamer, and then is on Smurfs exploiting backdoor underhanded mechanics and stuff like that against new players, then laughing and somebody saying this price sucks for them, and you just say tough to new players, it's just you're always doing something that's worth being like, stop, brother. So like, I don't know, man. I just wanted to respond to it. People said I wouldn't make a video if Sam was doing the same thing. He did. I said it was lame. Him going to the next game was lame. Him getting out of that and going to customs was admirable. So I'm going to say it. If Autospeed was bug abusing and he was going to make a video on it, and then he stopped doing it in ranked, immediately went to like custom games and made a video on it, I'd say the exact same thing. I would say, oh, he recognized that was probably lame, but growth, right? That's all you can ask for. But like, I just don't see it ever, and that's what I want. I want growth from Autospeed and his mods. I want accountability. I want something, man. But like, sitting in base watching playing Minecraft while your team loses because you don't think they deserve a win is lame. Bug abusing is lame. Not accepting accountability is lame. And there's a history of bug abusing in ranked, on stream, and it's not a good look. And things that aren't a good look for Smite aren't a good look for the Smite creators. And objectively, the biggest thing standing in the way of Smite success is not the devs. It's the community. So like, get your shit together. That's not just to Autospeed, just like the community in general. Like, it's anybody who complains about the devs is like, oh, this is the devs' fault. I mean, don't get me wrong, they have a accountability measure to fix bugs. I think they fix bugs that they find in a pretty reasonable manner, as often as they're getting them, as often as they're putting out content. But that doesn't absolve people from abusing them. That doesn't absolve creators from making the game a worse experience for other players. And it's not the devs that are in the way of Smite 2 success. It's the community. So that's it. Get your shit together. That's it, buddy. That's it, buddy. Sitting in the base is probably the worst thing. I saw that this morning. Sitting in base while to force your team into a loss, playing another game, forcing your team into a loss is actually like the worst part for me. Even after everything I said, somebody was like, I mean, he's just sitting in base. That's lame too. So it's like I would appreciate not having to call him out, right? I don't think people really think I'm being genuine when I say I don't want to call him out. Right? But like I don't like that I'm making this video because again, it has nothing to do with the money. I don't care about the views. I don't care. It's just like it's another top representative in our community making our community look bad. It's the same way when people fucking snipe Summit and then they're like, look what Hi-Rez has done to our beautiful game and it's dying because of them. Meanwhile, they're actively contributing in so many ways to the detriment of this community. There's a reason that people will not, big creators will not come play this game, and it has nothing to do with Hi-Rez. That's not true. That's not true at all. The community would be ignorant to believe they are not a large contributing factor to people not wanting to come play this game. Hi-Rez, who they are now, I'm confident in the leadership that is there in order to make Smite 2 successful. The biggest detriment to Smite right now is its community, and if we were to act as though the way Autospeed's acting right now is okay, then we are saying that we condone it by not saying anything. Then we would be saying we condone it. So people can think that's biased. People can think I'm just jumping on the hate train for views. People can think